Greetings, MASA members. This is Peter Spatafor, Deputy Executive Director for Government Relations for the Michigan Association of Superintendents and Administrators. Hot off the presses this week, we had a series of bills introduced by the Senate Republicans that deal with a wide range of issues, including evaluations, MSTEP, third grade reading, and a few others. I'm going to do a quick summary as they were just released this week, and we wanted to get that into your hands as soon as possible. Just real quick disclaimer, this is a very preliminary review of the information, and the contents of the bills is subject to change. The information reflects our analysis as of March 18th, 2021, and I will always encourage you with questions to contact the MASA Government Relations team at masagov@gomasa.org. So that's masagov@gomasa.org. And that email goes right to Athena and me. So the bills introduced cover about 6 categories broadly: educator evaluations, assessment, third grade reading and retention, individual academic assessments, substitute teachers, and optional retention for students. Senate Bills 56, 57, and 260 deal with teacher and administrator evaluations. Senate Bill 56 deals specifically with teacher evaluations. It changes the evaluation categories to ineffective, emerging, and effective. So this removes the 4th category and changes the names from highly effective, effective, minimally effective, and ineffective to effective, emerging, and ineffective, respectively. It reduces the student growth component from 40% to 25%. This is permanently. And it also alters the student growth formula from 50% state summative assessment, 50% local assessments, to 100% local assessments for this year, and returns the formula to 50-50 for the 2021-2022 school year. It expressly allows for schools to use benchmark assessments and teacher-student data link data as part of the student growth formula, and it adjusts evaluation laws to reflect the new categories that have been named. Senate Bill 56 by Senator Horn, deals with administrator evaluations. It also reforms the categories from 4 to 3, ineffective, emerging, and effective, and lowers the student growth percentage from 40% to 25%. It also allows explicitly, again, for benchmark assessments and teacher-student data link data to be part of the student growth formula. Senate Bill 260, introduced by Senator Zorn, deals with rating categories for highly effective, effective, and minimally effective and ineffective to ineffective, emerging, and ineffective in the Teacher Tenure Act. This changes the requirements for probationary teachers and teachers to earn tenure to reflect the new evaluation categories. This heading does say administrator evaluations, but it is for Tenure Act. Senate Bills 261, 262, 263, and 264 deal with assessments. Senate Bill 261, introduced by Senator Daley, waives the Michigan Merit Exam, and this is the school code bill that does that. It amends the school code to waive the Michigan Merit Exam that's currently required for the spring of 2021. Schools are still required to offer the SAT component, however, and if the College Board offers administrations of the SAT in the summer or fall of 2021, schools must offer an opportunity to students to take the SAT at those points. Senate Bill 262 by Senator Lasada also waives the MME, but through the School Aid Act. It amends the School Aid Act to waive the MSTEP, the MME, the Work Keys, and the WIDA for the spring of 2021. It requires schools to still offer the PSAT and the SAT, and if the College Board offers administration of the SAT and PSAT in the summer or fall, the school district must offer their students the opportunity to take the PSAT and the SAT at those points. It's important to note that all of these waiving of the MME summative evaluation are contingent upon Washington, D.C. granting a waiver to that effect to the state. But this will allow for state law to be ready should that change take place. Senate Bill 263, introduced by Senator Theis, deals with CEPI data, benchmarks, and the teacher-student data link. It requires the Senate Majority Leader, the Speaker of the House, the chairs of both education committees, the chairs of both the appropriations committees, and the chairs of the education appropriations subcommittees to have clearance to all CEPI data equal to the clearance that is afforded the executive director of CEPI. It also requires CEPI to submit a report to the legislature on fulfilling its obligation to collect all data on classroom level in compliance with 388.1694A and submit each data set collected for the 2014-15 school year and the 2020-21 school year that links teachers to student information with personal information redacted. It also requires CEPI to report processed data back down to the schools, and it requires every school district report their benchmark results by grade level and subgroup to the public. It would also require every school to submit all of its benchmark assessment student growth data down to the classroom level by June 31st. Which, those of you paying attention, June 31st is not a day, so I think that might be a drafting error. But that data must go to CEPI with student names and teacher names redacted, and then require CEPI to compile these students' data reports and send the data to the House and Senate Education Committees. The next bill is Senate Bill 264 from Senator Theis. It deals with the Assessment Commission. It establishes an assessment commission as a permanent entity to replace the assessment functions of the Department of Education, made up of appointees from the House, the Senate, and the governor. The House would receive 3 appointments, the Senate would receive 3 appointments, and the governor would receive 1. It's a 7-member commission. The commission would be responsible for creating an RFP for a new statewide summative assessment for grades 3 through 8 to replace the M-STEP. The commission will also craft the RFP and have an ISD be responsible for putting out. The ISD would act as the fiduciary for all funding related to assessments moving forward, and it will be responsible for coordinating with the MDE, CEPI, and other governmental agencies on any functions necessary to administer the assessment, gather the results, and report them as required by state and federal law. It would also oversee the implementation of the new assessment starting in spring 2022. There's a bit more detail on this that I haven't been able to dive into quite yet, but it's a long bill with a lot of extra steps in it, so we'll get into that a little bit more, but this is the high-level view. Senate Bill 265 relates to third grade reading and retention. It eliminates the mandatory retention component for the 2020-2021 school year. It eliminates the requirement of the district for a pupil who is not promoted to grade 4 due to the reading law. It states that any student who is not proficient in reading in grade 4 be provided a reading intervention program outlined in subsection 7, previous law, and that it adjusts the requirement that for students who have a reading deficiency, a district is encouraged to offer summer reading camps with highly effective teachers in reading. The language change is to create parity between the changes in Senate Bills 56, 57, and 260 to reflect the category of effective. For a pupil who is retained under the Read by Grade 3 law, they are required to be assigned to a highly effective teacher of reading. The bill, again, makes the change that be an effective teacher. And I just want to clarify, the mandatory retention piece is only waived for this school year. That returns in the following school year. Senate Bill 266 deals with individual academic assessments. It is introduced by Senator Schmidt and requires that by May 15th, the district sends a written assessment summary to parents or guardians that includes the pupil's academic performance and a projection of what the pupil's performance would have been without the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. First blush, that seems a little challenging. It may be impossible, but perhaps not. This is determined by using, but not limited to, homework, test scores, report card data, teacher observation, and available benchmark assessment data. By not later than August 14th, the district shall ensure that each teacher prepares a written learning recovery plan for each pupil taught by that teacher during the 2020-2021 school year, subject to state and federal privacy laws. Senate Bill 267 deals with substitute teachers. Senate Bill 267 allows for school employees to serve as a substitute teacher under certain circumstances. That the individual must have been employed by the district for at least 3 years and hold a valid substitute teaching permit by the time they are employed as a substitute. This law sunsets on August 31st, so it's really only for this school year. So let me clarify on the permit. They don't have to have a permit first, but they must have a permit before they begin substitute teaching. And then the final bill is Senate Bill 268 dealing with optional retention. This was a bill that provides parents the express authority for their student to undergo retention and retake the grade they were in for the 2020-2021 school year. Parents must notify the school by July 1st, 2021 if they wish to exercise this right. The school must retain the student if they are notified before July 1st, and if they're notified after, it is at the school's discretion as to whether or not they retain that student. That pretty much summarizes the bills. We are working now to get a more thorough analysis on this and provide feedback to the legislature on this. It is my understanding that they hope to begin hearings as early as the week of the 22nd, and we will certainly be providing feedback in both written and verbal forms to the Senate Education Committee. For now, if you have any questions, please direct them to masagov@gomasa.org, and thanks for watching.